The Radio Shack HTX-202 2-meter handy talkie. This is always one of my favorites, and these are getting pretty old, and one of the problems they have is the RAM backup battery in them goes bad. This is another Hamfest special, one of the, I think a $5 Hamfest special, and one of the reasons I think it was so cheap was Error 1. Well, that means the RAM battery's bad. So, you can buy a RAM backup battery with pigtail leads on it that you can solder in the circuit. And these will run you, I forget how much they cost. But there's a lesser expensive way of doing it. In fact, you probably have in your junk box exactly what you'd need. Here's what you need to do this project here. Plus you'll need a couple little pieces of wire, a black and a red. But anyway, these are button cell holders, kind of a low profile. And they'll actually fit inside of this thing. I've done this before. And then at a dollar store you can get 2 lithium cells for like a little over $1. So with those 2 things, that's all you need. And then if the battery does go bad eventually, you don't have to do any unsoldering. Just take the rig apart and pop in a new cell and you're ready to go. I like these radios. These were very nice radios. I'm surprised nobody buys these things. I see them at Hamfest all the time, and they sit and they go for $5 or $10, and they're really nice radios. So the HTX-202 and the HTX-404, which is the UHF version of it, I highly recommend those if you want a nice radio. And now they're old, so you're probably going to have to do this modification and replace the RAM backup battery. So I'm going to do that next. Stand by. 5 screws in the back and 4 in the base that has the slide for the battery, and this back plate comes off, revealing the circuit board. Once you get the back panel off, this main circuit board here comes out. You have to raise it just a bit to get the bottom of the positive contact of the battery clip out. And when you take it out, be very careful. There's a ribbon cable here that can be damaged really easily. And here's your backup battery. What I normally do, I will cut the positive lead and then very carefully, I know you should never use a soldering gun near sensitive electronics, but once again, you want to get in and get out of there as fast as you can. So just grab the battery. It's stuck down with a piece of, it looks like 2-sided tape. Anyway, here's the negative terminal is soldered to this shield here, and you want to get your soldering iron on there, and this one needs a new tip, obviously, and off it goes. And there's your backup battery, your RAM backup battery. I'm going to take this sticky one-sided tape off. I'll replace that. Now the new battery terminal here, these have pins that come down. What I do is I bend those down like this. This one broke off, but that's okay. It's the positive. This is the positive terminal. And I've got enough meat there. I can solder a red wire on this side and a black on that side. And then once I get that done, I want to mount this so it's in this orientation. I have to clear all of this circuitry here, these switches here. So I want the main body that sticks up to be more over this area in the middle, because there's enough room. But as you put these together, you can see exactly where you need to put this. I'll solder a black wire under this side go to ground, and then this red wire here, I don't think I got enough room to reach. Well, maybe I do. Yeah, I think I can do it. And then once I do that, I'll place the lithium battery in, and hopefully we'll be back in business. So that's the next step. Stand by for that. I soldered a short black or ground negative terminal here. I soldered a small wire and tinned the end here. That will go to ground here, that point. And then the red wire, I cut off the end, tinned it, and then that will be soldered here. If I can do it with a camera. Like so. And then when I bring this around, this is how it will be oriented. But you have to remember one important point. The negative is grounded to this shield here, but the positive has to be insulated. So I'll have to put some type of insulating material over this. Either electrical tape, or I prefer maybe a little piece of mylar, thin piece of mylar that will cover this. I can glue it right on here, and then when this sits down like this, so you can see it, when this sits down like that, it'll be insulated, so you got your positive and your negative. I cut a small piece of this insulating material. I don't know what it came out of, but anyway, it's a very good insulator. I cut a small piece of that, little dab of contact cement, and this will go down here. There's a couple of adjustments here. I want to make sure I don't cover those. And then for the bottom of the battery clip here, I'm going to use just a small piece of double-sided tape. Now I have to be careful that I align this so I will clear these switches. And this looks like it will work here. I'm going to keep this down as far as I can. Okay, now all I have to do is solder the negative lead to the grounded shield here, and I'll do that with a soldering gun very quickly, hopefully. And that should complete that part of the modification. I just have to slip the cell positive side up, slip the cell into position, and that should do it. One last thing I'm going to do is put a little piece of tape over this in case it comes in contact with anything, I want to make sure it's insulated. And this isn't very thick, so it's not gonna interfere with anything. Anyway, just a little bit of insurance there. And carefully put the circuit board back in place. There's a gasket on the top of this housing. You gotta make sure it goes in the right place. Then all we gotta do is put the back plate back on, like so. It only goes in one way. Alright, function and D. And there we go. 146.0, and should be able to turn it off and back on again, and it shouldn't give us a, and there it goes. Need an antenna. And a battery. And there we are, 146. And it works. Test, test, test. Test, 1, 2, test. Hello, test, hello, test. And it works. That's the way that you can replace this dead lithium cell. And all you need is a button cell holder and a lithium button cell from your dollar store for $1.50 or whatever. It used to be a dollar store, now they're the $1.50 store. Pretty soon they'll be the $2 store. Anyway, I like these handy talkies, both the 202 and the 404. So if you see them at a Hamfest, grab one. Don't be afraid if you get the error 1 signal on it. All that means is you need a new RAM backup battery. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope it helps, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.